Okay, so last week I turned this kitchen wall into a working whiteboard. And this week I managed to score dining room chairs for free, but they're vintage, antique, whatever you want to call it, so they have to be refinished. So I'm attempting to do that this week. Let's see how it goes. So the first thing I did was hightail my ass to Lowe's, and then I found this stuff called citrus strip, and I'm hoping I can maybe get off the varnish, we'll find out, and some plastic drop cloths because I have a history of really terrible messes. I also got the scrapey tool because I said, it wouldn't hurt to try. These little plastic putty scraper things to scrape off, hopefully, the last of that citrus strip crap. And this little key thing that I figured I could use for like the crevices in the chair. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I immediately lost it in my car. It didn't even make it home. I have no clue where it is. Okay, so here are the chairs before I do anything to them. They need a lot of help. Okay, so I'm going to be using this scraper tool that I got at Lowe's, and the idea is that I'm going to be scraping the varnish / stain right off of the chairs. So let's see how this goes. Oh, also, I would like to point out that I am aware that I look like a clown right now. It's because I bought a brand new lip stain off of Amazon, and it's not coming off. I should probably remove the cushion off of this because it's hindering my ability to scrape it off of this chair. Looks like there's, I'm going to assume that these are screws for the cushion. Let's find out. I'm just going to put this aside for later. You know, these chairs are old as shit, but they used to make stuff better back then. These are a lot better than the chairs that we had before. Why do you have stains on your chairs?
Because my ex-girlfriend used to put her shoes on and tie her shoes like this on my white chairs, because obviously that makes sense. You can tell why she's my ex.
I'm struggling to fill in the blanks here.
Listen, there's a lot of blanks.
I never told you guys how I got these chairs. This is the story of how I got these chairs for free, and then later found out that they were worth about $4,000. So a couple of weeks ago, Tim and I went to drop off the most horrendous couches ever, and it turned into an entire dilemma.
We're not that horrendous.
They were pretty fucking ugly,
They were
Tim.
not.
They were hideous.
They were not. One was blue. One was black. It's a normal color. That's normal couches.
No. Okay, I would like to point out the fact that these are not couches that Tim chose himself. Instead, these were couches that his friends had, and they said, you know what? This couch is ugly. I'm getting a new one. And then they looked at Tim and said, you want a free couch? And he said, sure. That's how he got these couches. So anyways, we were dropping off the most horrendous couches, and it turned into an entire dilemma because we couldn't find a place that would take it because for some reason, a lot of thrift stores are swamped with too many materials and they're not taking big furniture. So finally, after an entire day of driving around, we managed to find a place in an undisclosed location where we could donate said couches. Now, when we were unloading the van, let's start that over. Now, when I was single-handedly unloading this entire van full of couches.
I'm sorry. What?
I stumbled across
Jesus.
some gems. Can you stop interrupting, please? I stumbled across some gems, aka these chairs that I saw abandoned amongst other shit. So I decided to abandon my mission of single-handedly unloading all of these couches, and I decided to, for once, let Tim carry some of the weight and help unload these couches.
Yeah, okay. And this is where you battle the Green Dragon and fend off the Knights of Yore.
Hey, don't skip chapters.
I'm sorry, I'm just curious where this load of shit is going.
So anyways, I walk over to these chairs and I sit down on them, and I notice that they are very comfortable. And right then, one of the employees came over to me, and he picked up a unicycle that had been leaning against these chairs. And he goes and he starts to try and ride the unicycle. And me being the extrovert that I am, I start asking questions. And I look at him and I said, "Oh my God, do you ride unicycle?" And he said, "No, under no circumstances do I ride unicycle. I should get off before I hurt myself." So then we started laughing. And then, just like magic, he just disappeared into the wilderness. Now at this point, I am thoroughly amazed because not only are these beautiful chairs here, but also Tim is helping.
Helping? I'm sorry, who drove around for 2 hours looking for a place to donate these damn couches?
Shh. So he finishes unloading this van with the help of another employee, and I walk up to this other employee and I say, "Sir, I understand that these are not in the thrift store yet, but is there any way that I could purchase these?" And he was like, "Listen, I'm sorry, these have to go, there's a whole process of how this works. They might go up for auction and like all of this stuff. So like you can't purchase them." And I was like, "Oh, all right, cool." Thought I would ask anyways. And right then, the man on the unicycle, he pulls up in a forklift, just out of nowhere, majestically pulls up right then like a guardian angel. He hits the brakes and he says, "If she wants the chairs, put them in the van." And the other guy stares at him and he's like, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, this is less that I got to deal with. Put them in the van." He said, "I'm not looking. Oh, look at that building over there. So pretty." He's like, "Put them in the van." So it turned into this entire thing. So they very quickly sweep these chairs into the back of the van. And at which point, Tim, being the complete non-believer in my skill and ability, looks me dead in the eyes and he says, excuse you, banana. He says, "We just got rid of," can you let me finish the story, please? He says, "Rose, we just finished unloading this truck and you just filled it up with more shit."
True story. That's the only accurate part of the story so far.
"Hey, the story is true about the way that we got the chairs." And I said, "Timothy, you have no idea how much these chairs are worth." And he said, "You don't know that?" And I said, "These are mid-century French solid wood dining room chairs." And he said to me, being the amazing, trusting, supportive boyfriend that he is,
That if these things are worth $4,000 next time Antique Roadshow is in town, we're loading this van back up and taking them over to go get appraised. Because there ain't no way these things are worth $4,000.
I couldn't hear you over all of the victory that was me scoring brand new dining room chairs. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. On today's episode, I'm going to be showing you how you can break up with an ungrateful ass motherfucker. So a couple of weeks ago, I was able to score $4,000 dining room chairs for free. And when I showed them to my boyfriend, he said to me, "You just loaded the truck up with more shit." That makes him what we like to call in my line of work an ungrateful ass motherfucker. I think that's the end of the story. I promised my mother I would never be a stripper, yet here we are. All right, so there are some areas of this chair that I just can't sand. This part I'm not bothered about because that's where the seat's gonna go. But for example, I can't sand off or scrape off any of this sort of embellished area, so I'm gonna be using citrus strip on it in hopes that it can get off any sort of residual stain. Like always, I've never done this before. I believe you ordered a stripper. Get back inside. Okay, so it smells like chemicals, obviously, but it also kind of smells like orange, which I suppose is intentional considering the fact that it's citrus strip. So apparently this citrus strip is a little bit like bleaching your hair in the sense that like the stripping aspect of it doesn't work when it dries out. So the point is that you want to keep the material wet. So what you're supposed to do is wrap it in plastic wrap because that leaves in the moisture so it can keep working its magic with stripping the shit off this chair. All right, y'all. So it has been about, I don't know, like 16 hours since I put this citrus peel. Now I'm ready to scrape it off so we will see how much of the varnish it actually took off. I'm also gonna be using a plastic scraper to get off the excess varnish because the citrus peel makes the wood soft and I really don't wanna scuff it up using like a metal tool. This is just softer and more flexible. Ugh. You can kind of see on camera where this was the darker varnish and like that's what it looks like now. But I'm starting to think that I didn't put it on thick enough because there's very little that's scraping off. You can see like here, but I feel like there should be a lot more scraping off than this. I think this is gonna take a while. Okay, so it feels like I can't seem to get off the areas of citrus strip that I need to because my tool's a little large and there's a lot of tiny crevices in here. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go get some steel wool, maybe some gloves and like a bucket of warm water and just kind of scrub off. I really don't wanna go to the store. So I found the steel wool. It's a pack of 12, so hopefully this will do it. And oh look, scrub brush. It's this like little brass brush. Hopefully, I don't think it'll be too rough. And some gloves, I'm gonna need those. Coming. Oh, wrong way. All right, y'all, we are going to be testing out this steel wool on this chair. I really hope this works. Okay, so after letting the chair dry for a couple of days, The wood is a lot lighter than I thought it would be. I thought I would have to do several strips, I guess, or several cycles of citrus peel, but I don't think I'm gonna have to do that. I think for the other chairs, when I'm doing that round, I'm just gonna put a thicker layer of citrus peel on it and maybe spend more time with the steel wool. I don't know, maybe while it's wet, but I'm kind of impressed by the citrus peel altogether, honestly. So unfortunately, I have greatly and painfully underestimated the amount of work that is going into, or that has to go into, these chairs. So I only got a couple of them mostly done. Honestly, I'm kind of frustrated by it, so I'm just gonna push it to the side for right now and then work on another project and then revisit it, because I'm like going in circles with frustration right now. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to watch last week's video where I turned the kitchen wall into a working whiteboard. Bye.